Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome back to the At Home Film Festival. This month I'm taking a look at different streaming channels, saluting a channel a week. And this week we're going to do the Criterion channel. They have a great program there you should watch called Vacation Noir. So we've got murders and femme fatales and villains, and oh, it's so good. So I picked 7 of the movies on their list to look at. So let's start now. Our first movie is The Last of Sheila, seldom available to watch on TV. So now is your chance. If you don't have the Criterion channel, why don't you do one of those short-term trials? It's so worth it. So The Last of Sheila has one of the best all-star casts from the 1970s. We've got Richard Benjamin, James Mason, Diane Cannon, Raquel Welch. Look at all these great people. And it's written by 2 people that seldom write, but you would never even put them together. Anthony Perkins, the actor from Psycho, and Stephen Sondheim, the guy that wrote all those musicals. This is their only screenplay for actually Anthony Perkins. Sondheim later did one other for the book for his Into the Woods movie. But this is about Sheila, who died early on in the film, and her husband decides to gather people that may be suspects in her murder to plot things out on what he's calling just a cruise and a fun trip, but he's really trying to get to the bottom of her death. Well, guess what? Other people die too. Shocking. Oh, this movie is so fun, so good, and totally worth your time. You should really check it out. Love it. Female on the Beach with Joan Crawford. It's totally a star vehicle. I actually hadn't seen this movie ever until I was preparing for this show. And it's really good. So she gets this summer beach home that she's deciding to sell, but there's so much going on around there. And she gets involved in maybe a murder. Maybe she's the next victim. There's a lot of maybes here. But what I really discovered is him, Jeff Chandler. Look at that. He did not have a long career, unfortunately. He had an operation and he had poisoned blood inside of him, which his family ended up suing. But he is super hot. I can't believe I have not watched Jeff Chandler movies before. And I also found out he's a singer. But this still is a vehicle for Joan Crawford. There's a lot of nail biting and interesting who's the killer, who's not the killer, who's the victim. Really, really fun and good. So you should check this out during this Noir week, okay? Now here's an interesting one for you. Niagara with Marilyn Monroe in her first starring vehicle. Now what makes this great, not only is it film noir, takes place in Niagara Falls where Marilyn plays the wife who gets interested in somebody else, but it's in color. But look, the preview is not in color. What's wrong with that? But I did find some put together scenes, so I'm gonna switch to color now. Look how beautiful this movie is in color. I don't know why the preview wasn't. So very fun little facts too. That shower scene, Marilyn was actually naked because she thought why would her character like shower with clothes on, but the studio kind of objected to the shadows of her great body, so they kind of added darkness to the scene. This dress is so famous in this movie where she does this long walk that everybody remembers. But another interesting thing I love about this movie where when she's trying to plot to kill her husband, she works with her lover and they're going to use the song Kiss as a way to tell them publicly that the murder has taken place. That's kind of their secret song. So when you hear Kiss in town, it would mean that her husband is dead and they're ready to have a relationship together. But not everything goes as planned. Watch this movie and find out what I mean. Oh, it's so good. So good. Leave Her to Heaven. Oh my God. Jean Tierney, one of the most beautiful actresses ever put on the face of the earth, in her one Oscar-nominated performance, she plays a super self-centered woman who is so self-centered that she will murder her unborn child. The scene on the lake when they go away for a little vacation with her husband's brother, who she's jealous of because her husband likes him, that just shows how evil she could be. And yet she's beautiful at the same time. Very, very interesting. And also, Jeannie Crane is in this movie as well. And Jeannie also is featured on TCM this month, so she'll have her own day But so you can watch her here and on TCM. I promise you, you'll enjoy it. Another movie where men will kill for women is The Lady from Shanghai, an Orson Welles film. When this came out, it was not a hit at all, but has grown a cult following over the years. And his love interest in this movie is Rita Hayworth, who was his wife at the time. So they have really good chemistry on this. Everybody that remembers this mostly remembers it for the fun house scene with the House of Mirrors. But this movie is really a nail biter through and through, and you gotta catch it. The next movie is called His Kind of Woman. Of course, we'd have to have a Robert Mitchum feature on here. And he co-stars with Jane Russell, who, by the way, also has a day on TCM this month, so if you want to catch some of her work there. But they play two people that go to Mexico that aren't really connected to each other, but there's some crime and possible murders going on around them, so they end up working together to solve it and to protect themselves. And along for the ride, which makes this movie super funny, is Vincent Price, who plays a hammy actor, so his lines are all as hammy as his character. They were meant to be. They're wonderful. It's funny. You'll enjoy this movie immensely. I promise you that. Oh, now if you want a little trip to Italy, there is Purple Noon, which we all heard this story. Even though it's a foreign film, and you probably say, I've never heard of Purple Noon, you have heard of the source material, The Incredible Mr. Ripley. So that became a TV series recently. It was a movie with Matt Damon. So here's the original source, where some poor guy gets mixed up with rich people. They take him in because they think he's just a sweetheart, but he's not. Watch the movie and find out all that he does that's evil. Well, that's our show of the week. I hope you come back, and I hope you share and subscribe. As we leave, I'm taking another look at the preview of Female on the Beach, but this is done by some campy people that applaud and bring up all of the cult-ish about this film, because it is not meant to be taken too seriously. If you watch along, you will find out what I'm talking about. I will see you next week with a whole new theme. Look forward to it, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, bye-bye. Ooh, yeah, do cringe. Oh, that doesn't sound fun. Oh, but he's so handsome.